Hi, my name is Kathryn Holmes, and welcome to my thesis proposal. The doctrine of submission versus authority, or headship, has been a hot button in Christian circles since the time of creation. Seeing evidence of this in my own life is what led me to the topic for my proposed research. The purpose of my research is to explore for the existence of the dialectic of submission-authority in 20 Christian marriages. Assuming that I confirm the existence of this dialectic, I hope to explore the utterance chains for the individual discourses, and further to discover possibly how the discursive struggle might contribute to the construction of meaning both for the partners and the relationship itself. The theoretical framework that I'm proposing for my study is relational dialectics theory, or RDT as it's known. In RDT, meaning for both the partners and the relationship is constructed in the dialogues or interactions that take place in the relationship over time. These dialogues may be internal or external. In other words, the partners dialogue amongst themselves in the relationship. However, they each also dialogue with themselves through their self-talk and with people outside the relationship through their friendships and extended family relationships. In addition, both partners are exposed to societal messages which also contribute to their individual discourses. All of these internal and external dialogues that take place around the dialectic are part of the utterance chain for the dialectic. The latest revision of RDT, which is known as RDT 2.0, has a critical lens through which researchers are encouraged to seek insight into relational health around the dialectics. And this gives RDT a transformative nature that I feel make it ideal for my study because that's just what I hope to accomplish. In order to determine the significance of my study, whether it was needed, I undertook an extensive literature review considering several different sides of the research problem. I first looked at studies that were foundational in nature regarding RDT and that just laid out and explored the theory. And some of those authors are listed here. Doing that showed that RDT would be a valid framework for my study. I then looked at articles that considered RDT in various contexts, ranging from female graduate students to arranged Muslim marriages and to a Chinese house church. And some of those studies are listed here. However, it's interesting to note that in those studies, I did not ever find the specific context of Christian marriages. Next, I looked at articles that explored RDT in regards to specific dialectics, such as openness, closedness, or autonomy and connection. Again, in all those studies, I did not find the particular dialectic of submission or authority addressed. In this category, I did, however, find evidence of that dialectic at a societal level. Finally, I looked at articles that addressed studies that sought insight into power and gender issues within marriages, seeing that as a related topic to the dialectic of submission and authority. In these studies, other theories were used, but never the framework of RDT. So that the literature study, while confirming the validity of RDT as a framework, did also confirm the fact that my study would break new ground in that the particular context of Christian marriages and the particular dialectic of submission and authority has not yet been examined through the lens of RDT. For my methodology, I propose a qualitative research design. qualitative research is very conducive to discourse analysis and to exploring meaning within relationships, which is exactly what I want my research to do. In qualitative research, themes are discovered and processed inductively and deductively. And qualitative research is very emergent in nature. All of these things make it an ideal research design for my study and appeal greatly to me as an individual researcher. In my study, I want to carry out 2 open-ended, in-depth interviews with 20 Christian couples. I want the couples to have been married for at least 2 years so that the proper level of intimacy has been reached. And the first interview will take place in a natural setting for the couple, either their home or a mutually agreed upon locale where they can be relaxed and can be themselves. And that interview will be videotaped. Now, as soon as I videotape those interviews, I'll begin analyzing them using contrapuntal analysis. Contrapuntal analysis is very conducive to discourse analysis and looks for recurrent themes. As I carry out that analysis, I'll then go back and do a second interview with the couple where we can discuss any themes that are emerging in the analysis, and we can also address any issues that have arisen. In qualitative research, the role of the researcher is very important, and I've spent a lot of time considering my role in my proposed study. I am a married Christian woman, which gives me much in common with at least 50% of the research participants. In addition, I have seen evidence of the dialectic of submission and authority as the site of discursive struggle in my own marriage. And this occurred at a time where I was, for many years, the victim of spiritual and emotional abuse in my marriage. Because of this, I want to be very honest about my history in proposing this study, but I can assure the research participants that I bring no bias into the study. Instead, I've waited to propose this study until I've reached a point in my recovery where I can honestly say I don't have any preconceived notions or an axe to grind. Instead, I'm very curious about this dialectic and how Christian couples construct meaning for themselves and for their relationship around it. And I'm eager to learn about it right alongside my research participants. The dialectic of submission and authority carries great significance for Christian marriages, and yet it has not yet been considered in that context through the lens of relational dialectics theory. The transformative nature of RDT 2.0, I believe, will allow myself and other Christian researchers to encourage the research participants and any who might read the results of the research to partner with God in the transformative work that He wishes to carry out in their marriages. And I'm excited about that. Thank you for your time today.